Welcome to a new Draw My Life video.
You have probably gone through this 1,000 times. The one day you leave your house without an umbrella, it pours with rain. You buy something in the vending machine and it gets stuck. Every time you drop a slice of toast, it always falls with the butter side down. You probably think it's a conspiracy in the universe against you. But no, most of these misfortunes can be explained through the Murphy's Law, which says that anything that can go wrong will go wrong. We are not the first ones to realize that these things happen. The famous Scottish poet Robert Burns wrote in 1786 that the best laid schemes of mice and men often go awry. In 1884, the novelist James Payn presented the example of bread and butter for the first time. But it wasn't until 1949 that Murphy's Law, or laws, appeared as such thanks to the aerospace engineer Edward Aloysius Murphy, after whom they were named. Edward worked for the Army in the US in big projects such as the Apollo or the Apache helicopter, developing security systems. He carried out a project for the US Air Force to calculate the G-force, which measures the effect of acceleration due to gravity a person can tolerate when stopping abruptly. After several attempts, Edward modified the design but didn't get any results. He inspected carefully the connections of the cables set by his assistant. There were two possible ways of establishing the connection between the sensors, and it turned out they were all wrong. Not even one was right. So, Murphy said, if there is a wrong way to do something, then someone will do it. Little by little, the expression Murphy's Law became famous, and what had been born as a principle of security to take into account in engineering turned out to be a famous version of the inevitability of disasters. But how much is it true when we're talking about the Murphy's Laws? It all sounds like coincidence or superstition. However, though it might seem weird, science is behind many of these pessimistic statements. In 1996, the scientist Robert A.J. Matthews, after several experiments, proved that the Murphy's Laws are not about bad luck, but about pure physics. He got an Ig Nobel Prize for this. Going back to the famous slice of toast that always falls with the butter side down, he demonstrated, based on the mechanics of a rigid solid and the rotation speed, that for a slice of bread to rotate completely and not end up smashed on the floor, the table should be more than 2.5 meters tall. Unfortunately, IKEA doesn't sell any tables this high. It wouldn't be practical for human beings. Another Murphy's Law is related to the negativity bias and selective memory. We tend to remember bad things that happen to us and consider them more important. If something goes wrong once, it's gonna be stuck in our heads more than the other 1,000 times that actually went right. This is something inherent to our human condition and our survival instinct. Matthews also talked about another foundation, the illusory correlation. According to it, when we're in a traffic jam, we always have the feeling of being in the slowest lane. This happens because we spend more time looking at other cars going past us than looking at ourselves going past others. Another reason he gives is statistics and logic. If we get to a place where there are two lines, probably the one going slower will have more people, and there are bigger chances that we'll be in that line. If there are 4 lines and we choose one, there is a 75% probability of one of the other lines being faster. Also, if we lose a sock, it's more likely that the next sock that we lose is from a different pair, because other complete pairs are the ones we're gonna be using. Murphy's Laws have become famous in order to explain negative incidents in our daily lives that happen accidentally, to justify how jinxed we are or why the universe is against us. But truth is, if we investigate, almost all of these principles have an obvious reason, as it has been proved throughout the years. Tic-tackers, leave a comment telling us about your experiences with the Murphy's Laws.
If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like it. And if you want to see more Draw My Life videos, subscribe to our channel. See you in the next episode.